Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. After cultivating immortality for 100 years, it was discovered that this is the world of martial arts Jiang Chen had just passed through when the asterisk system suddenly triggered an alarm, saying that the world in this area was too dangerous and belonged to the high-level immortal level. Helpless, I can only enter the beginner protection space according to the system prompt. Occasionally, some ordinary mortals would come into the space, and with a mentality of forming a good relationship, they casually taught them a few times, but to their surprise, their identities were all extraordinary. The peerless woman turned her hand in the martial arts world and became the master of the demon path. Not to become an immortal, only to return as a master in the mortal world. The swordsman in the second year of junior high school said, "I am invincible in the world. I will not fight against immortals. Who will I fight against?" The young emperor returned to Xianxia and said, "I have conquered this world for the immortal lord and created the supreme immortal Qin. I respectfully request the immortal lord to ascend to the throne." At this point, the entire Jianghu was in chaos in an instant. And when the 100-year period arrived, Jiang Chen carefully emerged from the novice space. As soon as he left the space, he saw his defense fully open, and his power during the terrifying crossing period directly enveloped the world, making the world tremble with fear. Upon seeing this, Jiang Chen was dumbfounded and said, "After cultivating immortality for 100 years, I have already crossed the tribulation period. Can you tell me this is the world of martial arts?" Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. This is an immortal hero, but it requires me to cultivate the foundation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. This is an immortal hero, but it requires me to cultivate basic skills. Ding. Congratulations on unlocking the super cultivation system. From now on, this system will be dedicated to serving you. Ding. Detected that the host's plane is too dangerous. Belongs to the advanced immortal world. To ensure the host's path to immortality is smooth, we are now distributing a beginner cultivation gift pack. Ding. Extracting a beginner gift pack for the host. Ding. The gift package has been extracted. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Beginner Welfare Space * 100 years, Basic Cultivation Techniques * 1, Free House * 1, Taoist Robe * 1, Wooden Sword * 1. In the forest, a handsome man stood somewhat dazed. Jiang Chen is indeed a bit confused. I haven't figured out the current situation. After all, who would have thought that the previous second he was still angrily smashing the computer because the damn Krypton card game was crooked, and the next second he was crossing without any warning, unable to understand. However, looking at the system interface in front of me, it seemed crazy, constantly popping up system messages. Jiang Chen was still certain of the fact that his wife had crossed the line before she even got a drink. Damn it, 6488 hasn't finished yet. It's a waste. After spitting a mouthful, Jiang Chen began to check the system messages that had just emerged one by one. The cultivation system indicates that this should be a cultivation world. Turning his head to look around, Jiang Chen felt that this world of cultivation seemed to be not much different from the previous world. The sky is as blue and the forest is as dense. In Jiang Chen's imagination, the world of cultivating immortals is filled with monsters rampant, terrifying beasts dominating the area, and cultivators flying swords everywhere. That kind of cultivation world is definitely extremely dangerous for him, who has just crossed over. Whether one can survive a day is a question. But now this world seems a bit safe. Jiang Chen looked at the second prompt in the system. I'm a bit skeptical. System, how dangerous this world is. Jiang Chen tentatively spoke up. Ding. According to the system data, this world belongs to the advanced immortal world. But the system cannot detect the existence of the strongest, suspecting that the strongest in this world may have surpassed the height of the system, extremely dangerous. It is recommended that the host use the beginner's gift package to enter the beginner's welfare space, practice to a certain extent, and then enter this aspect. Jiang Chen hesitated for a moment. Can't even the system detect it? Perhaps reaching a height beyond the system. Does this mean that even if he has a system, it may not necessarily be secure? I'll go, it's too dangerous. The strongest have already surpassed the system level. Would it be possible that they have already discovered my existence and discovered that I carry the system? Just in case. Although it's just in case, if you come early and strangle me, it's not cool. Upon seeing the system message, Jiang Chen felt some lingering palpitations. But to confirm, I still asked a question. System, are you sure you won't make a mistake? The system responded quickly. Ding. The system won't make any mistakes. It will never deceive the host. Suggest the host to quickly utilize the system's welfare space and hide themselves. To ensure smooth cultivation of immortals. Jiang Chen looked around at the seemingly ordinary scenery. I still can't believe that this world is a dangerous and hidden world of advanced immortals and knights. But since the system has said so, there shouldn't be any mistakes. Can the system still deceive him? Joking, since he read novels in his past life, he has never seen that the traveler would be systematically tricked. This is the golden finger of the traveler. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen immediately looked into the system warehouse. There is something that was just obtained from the beginner's gift package. The first item. It is a beginner welfare space that the system has repeatedly prompted Jiang Chen to quickly utilize. After carefully reading the introduction, he quickly learned about the purpose of this space. Obviously, Jiang Chen's face lit up with joy. Without him, it's because this beginner welfare space is simply unbeatable. As long as he opens up this beginner welfare space, the system will split a spatial fissure in space and create an independent space within it. This space will constantly wander through cracks in the space, making it extremely difficult to capture. This means that as long as Jiang Chen enters this world exclusive to him, he will be in absolute safety. The most important thing is that practicing in this space will also earn many bonuses. No matter what you practice, your cultivation speed will be 10 times faster than in the ordinary world. A perfect development point for beginners. Jiang Chen couldn't help but praise the system. However, when he saw the second item, his face was slightly dumbfounded. A basic cultivation technique for cultivating immortals. If the welfare space is heavenly, then this basic cultivation method may seem a bit sloppy. This is the world of immortality and chivalry. The system has detected extreme danger. Logically speaking, shouldn't we give him a prison god-like energy? Or is it to transform one qi into 3 cleans? What is the 8-9 Xiangong or something? Surprisingly, only one basic cultivation technique was given. The difference between this and the first one is indeed quite significant. But Jiang Chen had no choice. The system has only given this for now, so he can only practice honestly. We will come up with a solution in the future. The third thing is to freely edit the appearance of the free house. Other things like Dao Pao and wooden sword. It has automatically appeared on Jiang Chen's body. Let him, who was already handsome, immediately add a touch of fairy-like temperament. After a casual glance, Jiang Chen no longer thinks too much. Now it's a world of advanced immortals and knights. Isn't it always dangerous for an ordinary person like him to be in this world? Stay one more second, there is an extra chance of being hit. So he immediately used the welfare space. In an instant, he felt a significant change in the surrounding space. As soon as I opened and closed my eyes, I appeared in a world full of spiritual energy but deserted. The system is not deceiving me. Looking at this side, it only belongs to his welfare space. Jiang Chen's face lit up with joy. Then I couldn't wait to use the Freedom House as I pleased. Since it was a world of cultivation, Jiang Chen skipped the luxurious villas, high-end sea view rooms, and other houses in the template and chose a bronze immortal palace with a fairy-like charm and unparalleled authority. This has all traveled through time. Of course we need to give it a try to cultivate immortality first. Enter the immortal palace. Found a secret room and flipped through the basic cultivation techniques in hand. At this moment, Jiang Chen also realized. This cultivation foundation technique is not that bad either. On the contrary, it doesn't seem to be much worse than this welfare space. Because in this cultivation method, not just practicing martial arts. Other methods such as alchemy, refining tools, formations, puppets, and even demonic techniques, as well as the combination of yin and yang, are all available. Although it is a basic skill, but it encompasses everything. Demons, Tao, immortals, Buddhas, gods, and ghosts. Just look at how Jiang Chen chooses. Only children choose. As a cultivation genius like me who has traveled through time, of course, I have to cultivate everything. Jiang Chen's lips curled up, feeling incredibly confident. He's a time traveler, cultivating immortality. Isn't that simple? Subsequently, Jiang Chen opened the first page of the cultivation technique. Beginner level cultivation of immortals. Start practicing carefully as described above. Chapter 2. The Fruit of Hard Cultivation, Ancient Qi Refiners. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The Fruit of Hard Cultivation, Ancient Qi Refiners. Damn it! How difficult it is to cultivate immortality. In the secret room. Spiritual energy is shrouded in mist, and immortal energy is curling up. This includes the blessing of a beginner's welfare space, as well as the role of a carefree home. In this secret room, Jiang Chen's cultivation speed can be increased up to 15 times. However, this is only system data. Jiang Chen practiced here for half a day, but he didn't feel any benefits at all. Because he practiced for several hours, he couldn't see any effect at all. This is unreasonable. 15 times the blessing, combined with top-notch cultivators like me, how could it be ineffective at all? Jiang Chen felt a bit depressed. A second ago, he felt that cultivating immortality was just a simple matter. But now, after practicing for half a day, he can't even sense a single breath. If you can't sense the air machine, then you don't even consider getting started. How about we first learn something else? What he is currently practicing is beginner-level cultivation. Belongs to the immortal realm. Since the immortal path has not been effective for the time being, why not cultivate others? For example, practicing pills, cultivating demons, and so on. Who stipulated that one must cultivate immortality? Maybe other things are better to cultivate. Think of this. Jiang Chen became very interested and raised his hand to open the beginner's level of alchemy. But the words on the first page of alchemy made him frown slightly. Please complete the beginner level of cultivation first. Jiang Chen was slightly taken aback. Do you still need to start by cultivating immortals to refine pills? It seems like alchemy and alchemy are all branches of cultivation. Without a foundation in cultivation, one cannot refine alchemy in alchemy. Then let's not refine pills anymore. Try cultivating demons and practicing Taoism. Cultivating demons has nothing to do with cultivating immortals, so there's no need to start cultivating immortals. With a thought, I raised my hand and flipped to the page of cultivating demons. Finally, there is no word to ask you to complete the beginner-level cultivation first. But Jiang Chen glanced at it. It was discovered that the first step of cultivating demons was exactly the same as cultivating immortals. You need to sense qi first. Jiang Chen hesitated for a moment. Then I flipped to the pages of cultivation, Buddha cultivation, demon cultivation, ghost cultivation, and so on. The first step to getting started is actually to first sense the air machine. There is no difference between it and the first step of becoming an immortal. Damn it. Okay, be honest with the induction machine. Jiang Chen is helpless. You can only continue according to the instructions for cultivating immortals. Start sensing the air machine. I don't know how long it has been. Jiang Chen finally felt a trace of something inexplicable surging inside his body. Has the first breath engine been born? Clearly, his face instantly brightened. I've been sitting for almost a day just for meditation. It can be considered effective. Feeling the integration of a strand of energy into the body's meridians, as if the qi is constantly circulating throughout one's own blood. Jiang Chen was overjoyed. I'm starving to death, this can be considered as the ultimate result of hard work. Jiang Chen felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart. But soon, there was a flash in his eyes. I don't know what came to my mind, but the joy on my face instantly diminished. But I should also be considered the weakest. After a whole day of cultivation and the speed of cultivation in the welfare space, I reluctantly realized a trace of qi. If this continues, my journey of cultivating immortals may be quite distant. Jiang Chen wrinkled up without a trace of concern in his eyes. At this speed, it may be a bit difficult to complete all the basic cultivation techniques in this cultivation within 100 years. Not to mention, he also wants to find opportunities to cultivate more advanced techniques. However, Jiang Chen did not know. This perception of qi is one of the most challenging thresholds in cultivating immortals. It can be considered a small bottleneck before cultivation. In the outside world. Even in the world of immortality and chivalry, even in the world of advanced immortality and chivalry. It will take at least 10 or 20 days for a peerless genius to comprehend a trace of qi. Even if one sits for a month without eating, drinking, and urinating, they may not truly appreciate the qi machine. Not to mention, it's still Jiang Chen is unaware of the external situation. Just following his ideas. Those so-called cultivation geniuses should be able to comprehend a trace of qi in minutes and become beginners in cultivation within minutes. He thought he should be like this too. But now, he realizes that he may not be a genius. However, no matter what, it has always been effective. Jiang Chen sighed. Then, with a thought and a move at your fingertips. A pile of fruits appeared in front of me. This is another function of being at home as you please. As long as Jiang Chen wants, he can summon food anytime and anywhere, without worrying about hunger or anything else. Hey, if you can summon anything. Then. Jiang Chen's mind twitched. Then summon a can of fatty water directly. It's really possible. It's still icy. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. If that's the case, then cultivating immortals doesn't seem so difficult anymore. On the contrary, it is no different from a previous life of fighting all-night online games. Jiang Chen is extremely satisfied. This beginner welfare space is a good thing, and the basic cultivation techniques are also good things. Now, this carefree house looks no bad at all. That Taoist robe and wooden sword on your body. Does it also have any special function? Jiang Chen thought in his heart, but temporarily did not delve into it in detail. After all, cultivation is now beginner level. I still don't need those things. Quickly improving one's strength is the most important thing. After all, this is a world of advanced cultivation and chivalry. Various crises abound. In Jiang Chen's eyes, it took him almost a day to barely feel a hint of vitality, indicating that his qualifications were really poor. This gave him a sense of crisis in his heart. If you don't work hard to cultivate, I'm afraid you'll be beaten up in just 2 days after going out and wandering in 100 years. Jiang Chen remained steadfast in his heart. And there is food to eat here, and there is drink to drink. There is also a cultivation speed bonus. What reason does he not cultivate immortality? Sensing the seemingly mysterious qi mechanism in his body, Jiang Chen, who had eaten and drunk enough, worked even harder to cultivate. Sensing the first wisp of air. When sensing the air machine again, it will obviously be much faster. Jiang Chen's heart was even more joyful. Quickly, a second strand of qi machine was cultivated. However, after cultivating 2 breaths, Jiang Chen also stopped practicing, found the dormitory, and lay down to sleep. Although he is starting to cultivate immortality now. But after all, he hasn't really started yet, and only then did he sense 2 tiny threads of qi. It's no different from ordinary people. Not sleeping can also lead to sudden death. In order to pursue a healthy cultivation career, Jiang Chen decided to take a good sleep first. In the following days, Jiang Chen follows the basic cultivation techniques of cultivating immortals every day. I am fascinated by the same cultivation. The number of internal qi mechanisms is also increasing day by day. At the end of the day, at least 5 or 6 channels of qi can be increased, and at most, it can even reach 7 or 8 channels. After more than 10 days, it quickly broke through the 100 qi machines. According to the Beginner to Immortal Cultivation section, cultivating 99 qi machines can break through the first level of qi cultivators. Jiang Chen is sensing the qi inside his body. The eyebrows furrowed slightly. In theory, he was able to break through a day ago. But after practicing for another day, Jiang Chen realized that after cultivating 99 qi machines, he could still continue to cultivate qi machines. It is not necessary to break through the qi practitioner at the time of the 99 qi machines. The more of this kind of thing, the better. After all, generally speaking, the better the foundation, the higher the future achievements will be. Since we can avoid breaking through, let's continue practicing well. Anyway, there won't be any danger. Think of it here. Jiang Chen decided to continue his cultivation. I don't know how long it has been. The qi in Jiang Chen's body became increasingly vigorous, and even his face could be described as radiant. The whole person's temperament has become quite profound. 9,999 qi machines. Can't bear it anymore, are we going to break through? Jiang Chen is preparing to break through as stated in the introductory section on cultivating immortals. But unexpectedly, it was just at this moment. A system that had been silent for a long time suddenly emerged. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have achieved the achievement of Ancient Qi Practitioner. Chapter 3. Fantasy Amazing. Legend of Immortal Trails. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Fantasy Amazing. Legend of Immortal Trails. Outside World. Shenzhou Continent. This is a world of comprehensive martial arts. It is rumored that Emperor Yu swallowed up the 6 harmonies and swept through the chaotic times of the world, ruling the world and dividing it into 18 states. Then various countries rose up together. Daming, Datong, Northern and Southern Song, Spring and Autumn 7 kingdoms wait for so many imperial dynasties. Divided by Emperor Yu as the boundary, the forces of various countries cultivate and nourish each other, and do not infringe upon each other. However, the rare occurrence of war between states does not mean that there is no war. Just like in a state under the jurisdiction of the 7 kingdoms during the spring and autumn period, there were continuous wars and turmoil. The northern and southern dynasties, including the Song dynasty and the Yuan dynasty, coexisted in the same state and were also plagued by frequent wars. It's not that major dynasties only abide by agreements. Just because the mainland of China is too large and there are natural barriers along the borders of various countries, it's extremely difficult to fight down. Therefore, there are very few troubles between states, and generally it is internal strife. However, it does not rule out ambitious people who want to sweep Liuhe and Wanton the 8 wastes like you Emperor. The Tang dynasty. This is one of the most prosperous and stable imperial dynasties among the 18 states. Here, Buddhism and Taoism flourish. It is one of the strongest imperial dynasties. In the stargazing pavilion, Li Chunfeng and Yuan Tiangang are sitting opposite each other playing chess. On the chessboard, black and white stars are scattered everywhere. The accompanying child frowned and looked at the situation on the chessboard, feeling somewhat puzzled. Because of the chess they played. It's not Go. The rules of Go are ignored in the game. Instead, it seems like playing a game of chess in the direction of the stars that is incomprehensible. According to Li Chunfeng and Yuan Tiangang, they are playing chess pieces from all over the world. The purple star is bright. I won this game. Yuan Tiangang's mouth curled up. Lift your finger and touch the central chess piece. Li Chunfeng shook his head. It's just a game of chess, maybe whoever loses will win. It's hard to say, your domineering behavior means heavenly way. The little boy next to him listened in a daze. The highly respected star officials among these two Tang emperors are truly elusive. But it's also. After all, you should know that according to rumors, these two are immortal practitioners. Although I have never seen the two of them demonstrate before, that's what the rumors say. That's an immortal method. I'm afraid I won't be able to see such a companion for a lifetime. Thinking of this, the little boy suddenly began to yearn for it. It would be great if we could see Li Chunfeng and Yuan Tiangang using immortal techniques. After all, in this world that advocates martial arts, immortal dharma is indeed a rare thing. However, just as the child was yearning, he suddenly felt a strange wind blowing. Strange, just now it was clearly a southeast wind. Why did it suddenly turn into a northwest wind now? The little boy looked up in confusion. But he found that Yuan Tiangang and Li Chunfeng in front of him no longer played chess. But they turned their heads together and looked towards the northwest direction. Whether it was Li Chunfeng or Yuan Tiangang, their eyes were filled with shock and awe. It seems like something big happened in the northwest direction. The little boy became even more puzzled. Is there anything that can make both of these people look horrified? But just as the little boy looked up, a frightened expression also appeared on his face. Fairy. Is this a fairy? On the northwest sky, a huge and solemn humanoid phantom appeared. Sitting cross in the sky. Amidst the swirling clouds, there seems to be an incomparable abundance of immortal essence. And even more terrifying is, behind the ethereal figure of the immortal, there is a huge bronze immortal palace faintly visible, incredibly magnificent and terrifying. But it was just a phantom, just like the legendary mirage. The child couldn't believe it was true. Until Li Chunfeng and Yuan Tiangang spoke at the same time. It's not an illusion, it's a real miracle. Is there really a fairy in the world? The Great Han Dynasty. Two elderly people sitting opposite each other. But the gaze also turned to look into the sky. Ha, old man, have you seen it? I said there must be immortals in the world. Take a look, isn't this a fairy tale? Isn't that human figure a fairy? The old man is very proud. On the other hand, the old Taoist on the other side had an extremely unpleasant expression. Just now, the two of them were making a bet on whether there were immortals in this world. The old Taoist naturally knows that although there are immortal methods in this world, there are definitely no immortals. So he deliberately increased the bet. I want to beat the old man on the other side fiercely. But I didn't expect it. Just when he thought he was going to win, immortal traces appeared in the sky. A fairy's phantom sits across the sky. The old Taoist was so shocked that his chin fell off on the spot. The eyes were filled with disbelief and a strong sense of regret. It should have been his bet to win, but now that the immortal shadow appears, he should have lost all over. The old Taoist's face stinks to the extreme. I can't figure out why this happened, and it happened to be at this moment. It's outrageous. Although this is the world of martial arts, there are not many cultivators of immortality. Like a certain ancestor on Wudong Mountain. The old celestial master on Longhu Mountain. Or it could be an elderly ox rider who lived for an unknown amount of time during the Han Dynasty. At the moment when that vision appeared, almost all have induction. Some frown, some feel like they are facing a great enemy, and some pinch their fingers and calculate. Within one day, the legend of immortality spread throughout the world. Many people in the 18 states of the world saw the phantom sitting in the sky. Some people think it's a mirage. I don't care. After all, that phantom only reflected a few short breaths of time. It just disappeared. But those who have truly practiced immortal methods know that it is definitely not as simple as a mirage. That's a fairy tale. On that day, I don't know how many people were shaken by it. They set off one after another to the place where the immortal shadow appeared. I want to see the appearance of a fairy. After all, the phantom reflected in the sky was just a few breaths, and it was incredibly hazy. No one can see the appearance of that immortal clearly. And on the other side, Zhao stayed in the 7 kingdoms of spring and autumn. A young man with an incredibly determined face, with a faint hint of sharpness like a sword. Looking up at the horizon. It seems that even the eyes are reluctant to blink. This person. It was Yingzheng, a young man born in the state of Zhao and now a proton. This future emperor of the great Qin dynasty, although still young, has already developed a touch of temperament that is unique to ordinary people. But ultimately, it's just a teenager. And it's just a proton. No one cares what Yingzheng is doing. No one will know. On that day, he also saw the virtual shadows sitting in the sky. The first thought. Yingzheng thought of the immortal. Since then, he has been staring fixedly at the place where the anomaly appears. Trying to see the fairy again. So much so that the people around thought that this Qin proton might not be a fool. But Yingzheng ignored the ridicule of others. For several days in a row, I stared at the sky intently. Whispering together in my mouth. Immortal. There are really immortals in the world. It's just a pity. Since then, there have been no similar anomalies in the sky. Even though Yingzheng has been guarding for a month, he has never seen the immortal phantom again. Chapter 4. 10 years in a flash. Finally break the foundation. Falling from the sky. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. 10 years in a flash. Finally break the foundation. People fall from the sky. However, no one knows. The fairy in their mouths. At the moment when the vision startled the sky, I was also startled. Damn it, what's going on? Ding. The host has achieved a rare achievement. Ancient Qi cultivators. Let's announce it to the world. Jiang Chen almost couldn't breathe out. Rare achievements, even announced to the world. When this is an online game, is there a world announcement? This won't attract the enemy to me, will it? System. However, Jiang Chen has nowhere to complain, just a little worried. That's a world of advanced immortals and knights. I'm just breaking through the level of a Qi practitioner. Nema caused such a big commotion. This is too arrogant. In the world of immortality and chivalry, being so arrogant is like seeking death on your own. If there is any terrifying presence following this vision and finding him here, then it's over. He's just a vegetable chicken now. Just broke through the level of Qi cultivator. However, the system's response was a relief for him. Ding. Host, rest assured. As long as you stay in the beginner welfare space, it will be absolutely safe. No one can deliberately find this place. With the guarantee of the system. He doesn't think about this anymore. But it turned to the introduction about the ancient Qi cultivators. Although it's hard to see the difference between ancient Qi practitioners and Qi practitioners. But Jiang Chen thinks that ancient Qi practitioners must be a bit more impressive. After all, a qi practitioner only needs 99 qi points to break through, while in ancient times, a qi practitioner spent his 9,999 qi points. The gap in this should be very obvious. This brought joy to Jiang Chen's heart. Although the cultivation is slower, there are also benefits. At least in the same realm, my strength must be much stronger than ordinary cultivators or qi cultivators. It can also be considered as making up for the shortcomings. Think of this. Jiang Chen became even more excited. I have also worked harder in my cultivation. The following days. Jiang Chen is basically addicted to cultivation. In order to become stronger. In order to wake up early and clear the waves in this space. Also to ensure a worry-free life. Jiang Chen almost fell into a crazy and demonic cultivation. After breaking through the first level of qi cultivators, the cultivation speed has significantly improved, and the bonus effect of the newbie welfare space has also become apparent. In the past, when practicing for a day, the maximum amount of qi obtained was no more than 10. But now it can complete hundreds or even more in a day. This speed. Even Jiang Chen himself was surprised. However, in addition to being a beginner in cultivating immortals, Jiang Chen also began to try to learn alchemy, refining tools, and so on. After all, you can't just practice this kind all day. Always change the feeling. But whether it's cultivating immortality, Taoism, alchemy, or refining weapons, all of them are helpful for improving cultivation. It can also achieve comprehensive development. Why not do it? So for a long time. Jiang Chen is crazily practicing like a machine. When you're hungry, use whatever you want to transform into something to eat. Wake up on time every day, practice on time, and go to bed on time. It's like playing bricks and running pictures in online games over and over again. Although it's boring. But feeling the increasing amount of qi in my body, I have never been tired of it. Jiang Chen in this state. Within a few months, he forcefully accumulated tens of thousands of qi machines hovering within his body. Until the body can't bear it. Passively broke through to the second level of qi cultivation. Breaking through a layer in a few months can be considered a slow breakthrough in Jiang Chen's previous life novels. So Jiang Chen is not complacent. But rather a more diligent cultivation. Crazy cultivation of qi machine. In a year of hard work, I made breakthroughs time and time again, and finally broke through to the third level of qi cultivation. And that's not enough. 3 layers of qi cultivation, isn't that a vegetable chicken? Not enough. Keep practicing. Quickly, 2 more years passed in a blink of an eye. Boom. In the cultivation chamber. A jet of air surged out of Jiang Chen's body, overturning everything around him. Practice the 9 levels of qi. Finally, it's perfect. Jiang Chen opened his eyes. In these 3 years, he has been practicing crazily. It can be considered that I have reached the 9th level of qi cultivation, and now I have been practicing hard for several months, accumulating more than just geometric and magnificent qi machines. Ready to break through. 9 floors up, that's the 10th floor. We have reached the 10th floor. His qi cultivation level is almost at its end. You can cultivate the next level now. Think of this. Jiang Chen didn't hesitate anymore. I casually transformed a can of fat water, and after drinking it, I immediately became 100 times more energetic. Then, I prepared to break through the 9th level of qi cultivation with one go. But this time, I don't know why. He had a vague premonition in his heart. Cannot break through in the secret room. So he arrived outside the immortal hall and looked up at the sky. Charge. With a thought, Jiang Chen began to break through the 9th level of qi cultivation. Obviously, he felt that this time seemed different from before. The qi and blood in the body seemed to be boiling. The air engine is circulating wildly. Even the spiritual energy between the surrounding heaven and earth seemed to be unconsciously triggered and began to dance around his body. And in Jiang Chen's mind, it seems that something has been pierced directly with one go, emitting a clear and ethereal sound in the mind. Bo practiced the 9th layer of Qi, breakthrough. Is this the peak of Qi cultivation? I'm finally a stronger vegetable chicken. Feel the beginning of a different force within your body. Jiang Chen couldn't help but feel delighted in his heart. But just as he was overjoyed, he suddenly noticed a figure. Surprisingly, it fell from the sky. Hey! Hey! Is there anyone else in this space? How could it be? Chapter 5. Is there also a heavenly calamity during the construction period of Nema? Zhao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Is there also a heavenly calamity during the construction period of Nema? Zhao Zheng's shock. Jiang Chen took a careful look. Make sure you're not mistaken, there was indeed someone falling from the sky. And it seems like he's just a teenager. Jiang Chen is a bit confused. Isn't this his private space? Isn't it agreed that no one can find this place? What happened to the embarrassed boy who fell into the pool? Jiang Chen questioning system. The system also quickly provided an answer. Ding. The host space is in a constantly wandering state. The system guarantees that no one will find it here. It is impossible to actively search for beginner welfare spaces. Except for accidents, the system cannot guarantee that no one will accidentally enter this space. After all, the beginner welfare space also exists in reality. There is a possibility of misunderstanding. Jiang Chen seems to understand but doesn't understand. Emotion is not something he cannot enter, but it is difficult to actively enter this space. However, if he is lucky, he can also break into it. For example, this young man dressed in black brocade. Perhaps it was luck that broke into his space. But if it weren't for falling right into the water. This young man is afraid of dying on the spot. Because in Jiang Chen's perception, there is no breath on this young god's body. Well, if it were just me, it would inevitably be boring. It would be great to occasionally have a puppet as a companion. Think of this. Jiang Chen no longer has any doubts. I was about to step forward. Retrieve the boy from the pool, but just at this moment. Jiang Chen suddenly frowned and then looked up at the sky. In the chaotic universe of this space, chaotic auras swirled and swirled one by one. Boom boom. Almost in an instant. The sky and earth instantly darkened for several minutes. Rolling black clouds rushed over crazily, blocking the sky and sun. Dark clouds envelop, thunderclouds roll. Visible to the naked eye, amidst the dense thunder, there were countless massive thunderbolts rolling like thunder snakes. The aura is fierce and domineering. The air between heaven and earth seems to be a little heavier. The breath was momentarily suppressed. See this scene. Jiang Chen widened his eyes, and at the same time, he was also foolish. This scene seems somewhat familiar. There seems to be a record of the basic cultivation techniques for immortality. It seems that, thunderbolt. Jiang Chen couldn't help but lightly exhale these two words. Surprise cannot be hidden in the voice. Impossible, that's not right. I just built the foundation flag, how could there be a thunder disaster? No, no, this must be fake. Watching the thunder clouds still brewing, constantly becoming thicker, more turbulent, and more violent. Jiang Chen was once again dumbfounded. Is there a heavenly calamity during the construction period of Nema? System, come out and explain. Jiang Chen's heart calls for the system. The system did not respond. Okay, it's useless when it's critical. What should I do now? This is a thunder calamity. Can a vegetable chicken that has practiced Qi for 10 layers withstand it? Jiang Chen lacks confidence. This is a lightning disaster, and Jiang Chen has never encountered such a thing before. It is inevitable to feel anxious in the heart. But soon, Jiang Chen also thought of it. Since there is a thunderstorm, he definitely has a chance to survive. Lei Jie couldn't have come to kill him, could he? Thunderbolt wouldn't be so boring. Perhaps this world is somewhat different from what he had imagined before. Perhaps this is a world of advanced martial arts with strict hierarchical systems. Otherwise, how can there be thunder calamity when practicing qi? Thinking of this, Jiang Chen no longer thought much. The most important thing at present is to get through the current thunderstorm. Jiang Chen is prepared to deal with Lei Jie carefully. I temporarily ignored the boy next to me. Wow! The boy crawled out of the pool. Although it's a bit embarrassing. But after coughing some water, the boy immediately stood up straight. Where is this? There is some vigilance in the eyes of the young man. For him, this is undoubtedly an unfamiliar world. The most important thing is that just now, he almost fell from the sky and died directly. If it weren't for the fact that there happened to be a pool, his life would have been lost at this moment. It is inevitable that there are lingering palpitations in my heart. But soon. The boy regained his composure. Although covered in water, soaked all over. But it cannot hide the hidden heroic aura between the young man's eyebrows. Although young. But there is a temperament that ordinary people do not possess. This person is none other than 3 years ago. Ying Zheng, who worked as a proton in the state of Zhao. 3 years ago, Ying Zheng was 10 years old. Now 3 years later, Ying Zheng is 13 years old. Unlike 3 years ago, the current Ying Zheng is no longer a proton. Not long ago. He was welcomed back to the state of Qin. With the help of the Prime Minister, he became the current King of Qin. The 13-year-old King of Qin. Ying Zheng turned his head and soon saw Jiang Chen standing on top of the bronze Immortal Hall, under the heavy black clouds. In the eyes of Ying Zheng, that person's white robe fluttered in the air. Black clouds roll and a raging storm gathers under them. His clothes were like a flag, hunting and dancing. But even so, Jiang Chen's figure is still straight and upright. A fairy-like aura arises naturally. Over the years, Jiang Chen's cultivation of immortality has already made himself vaguely carry a distinct aura from the mundane world. In addition, with the support of the Taoist robe in the beginner's gift package, Jiang Chen is even more like a fairy. Standing on the bronze staircase, next to the huge campus. Looking up at the sky. Like an immortal approaching the world. This is the feeling in Ying Zheng's eyes at this moment. And most importantly, Jiang Chen's figure evoked some memories of Ying Zheng. It seems like 3 years ago. He has seen that figure before. Immortal. Can it be that at that time, the fairy reflected in the sky? Ying Zheng's heart suddenly moved. But I'm not sure. However, regardless of whether Jiang Chen is the same phantom as before, Ying Zheng can be confirmed. The person in front of me is probably a fairy. Look at the figure standing still under the storm. This is not a fairy. What is that? Ying Zheng was a bit excited. I saw a phantom back then. Let Ying Zheng think about the immortal day and night. And now I'm finally going to see the immortal master. Who cannot be excited? And a few years ago, when Ying Zheng was a proton, he had the idea of cultivating immortality. After all, cultivating immortality can change the current situation of the state of Qin. The most important thing is that Ying Zheng wants to pursue the legendary immortality. Before this, he had searched for the deeds of immortals in countless classics of the state of Zhao more than once. Later, seeing Jiang Chen's figure reflected in the sky, I don't know how long my heart yearned for it. Unfortunately, there was no result in the end. However, Ying Zheng did not give up because of this. He still wanted to pursue immortality. After returning to the state of Qin not long ago, he searched through the classics of the state of Qin. I found another team of soldiers to search for the so-called immortals. This shows Ing Zheng's desire to seek immortality. At this moment, although Ing Zheng is already the king of Qin, he is still only a 13-year-old boy. Now that I see the immortal I have been longing for, I immediately think of the possibility of seeking immortality and seeking enlightenment right in front of me. How can this not be exciting? Ing Zheng couldn't help it. I wanted to walk up the steps and ask Jiang Chen if he was a fairy. But I haven't waited for Ing Zheng to speak yet. Even Ing Zheng did not step up the stage. Suddenly, a thunderous roar erupted from the sky. Immediately after, a visible thunderbolt crashed down. Directly falling from the sky, like a violent thunder snake, it smashed towards the face door raised by Jiang Chen. Boom! A huge and terrifying thunder fell into Ing Zheng's ears. Instantly suffocated the 13-year-old boy's figure on the spot. Immediately afterwards, an incredibly shocking expression appeared. This thunder is more terrifying than all the thunder that Ing Zheng has heard in recent years, whether it is Jingzhe or Xia Lei, it is far less than this thunder. It shows the terror of this thunderous roar. And Ing Zheng saw that thunder. Surprisingly, it hit the immortal's body. Lei Guang shone a faint light on Ing Zheng's face, hiding nowhere the shocking expression of this 13-year-old boy at this moment. Chapter 6. Crossing the Robbery Failed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Crossing the Robbery Failed. Boom! As if the heavens were roaring, the earth-shattering thunder echoed through this space. The fierce thunder snake, with its brilliant and swift momentum, carries the mighty power of heaven and earth and runs straight down. The white-robed figure smashing towards the bronze immortal hall. In Ing Zheng's view, this terrifying thunder tore open the void and filled it with the aura of destroying everything. Destroying the withered and decadent, unstoppable. The moment when the thunder struck the figure in the white robe. A hurricane is raging, with thunderous arcs pouring out from the sky. Standing under the steps of the bronze immortal hall, Ing Zheng retreated in succession, his face pale. After all, he is a 13-year-old boy, facing the terrifying Tianwei at this moment. Trembling all over, panicked and pale with fear. What a terrible thunder! Even the bravest and most powerful warrior of our Qin state will be destroyed by this blow. Is there really anyone in the world who can compete with such terrifying and unparalleled power? Ing Zheng felt lingering palpitations and lowered his head to catch his breath. At this moment, he found it difficult to directly gaze at the dazzling electric light, and a sense of powerlessness arose. All things are destroyed by the dazzling power of heaven. Ordinary people can only tremble and surrender in despair. However, that could very well be a fairy reflecting the void. Perhaps he can withstand this thunderbolt. Although only 13 years old, Ing Zheng's character and perseverance far exceed those of ordinary people. Quickly, he overcame his inner fear and looked up at the bronze immortal hall. That was an unforgettable scene for Ing Zheng. Above the bronze staircase, beneath the rolling thunderclouds. The strong wind is raging, and the waves are surging. The figure in the white robe is at the center of the storm, unscathed and motionless like a mountain. The thunder that came with immense power could not harm him at all. He hunted in his clothes, bathed in a brilliant blue and silver light all over his body. His body emits a terrifying suction, and the whale swallows the shining river formed by the convergence of tiny arcs. At the center of the Wangyang Sea caused by lightning storms. That figure stands proudly, like the Nine Heavens Emperor, the Supreme Immortal Emperor. Immortal. He must be the legendary Immortal. Fearless of the power of heaven and earth, use thunder for oneself instead. What else can such means be if they are not immortals? Ing Zheng's heart was extremely shaken. He stared blankly at the figure above the bronze immortal hall. An extremely complex expression appeared on the face. There is admiration, respect, envy, joy, and anticipation. However, at this time, Jiang Chen was unaware of these. When the thunderbolt struck without warning, he was also startled. Originally, in order to safely overcome the thunder disaster, Jiang Chen was calm and focused on operating the basic cultivation techniques of immortality. I adjusted my mental state to the best, and the spiritual energy flowing in my body became extremely active. However, even so, he still had no bottom in his heart. It can be said that they are in a panic. After all, in his understanding, the qi cultivation period is the lowest level of the cultivation world. Belongs to the newly introduced vegetable chicken. Even at the peak of qi cultivation, it is still just a slightly stronger vegetable chicken. And Thunderbolt, that is an extremely terrifying existence. In the novels he has read, there are only high-level cultivators, and they are also outstanding talents. It is only then that it is possible to attract the attention of the heavenly Tao and lower the calamity thunder. Those demons with extraordinary talents have endless magical treasures and impressive martial arts that have shaken the past and present. They are all close to death, going through extremely difficult times. Jiang Chen felt that his talent was mediocre, and he is still a low-level qi cultivation cultivator to this day. Apart from a white robe and an ordinary wooden sword, there was nothing else on his body. The method of cultivation is only a basic skill for beginners rewarded by the system. Apart from his integrity and steel-like will, he can now be said to have nothing. Do you really need to physically resist lightning strikes? I don't know if my small body can withstand it. At a time of concern. Jiang Chen looked up at the sky, and suddenly his pupils shrank. I saw an extremely thick thunderbolt piercing down from the rolling dark clouds. The terrifying thunder carried a destructive aura and was about to hit him in the blink of an eye. I'll go, heavenly way thief. Are you really trying to make me die? Jiang Chen cursed angrily in his heart. Although they detest the lack of martial ethics in the heavenly way, their bodies still operate their techniques honestly to resist. Yeah. Like a fierce thunder snake, the thick lightning strikes in an instant, crashing towards Jiang Chen's mortal body. At the moment they met, a surging thunderous arc was stirred up. Jiang Chen has closed his eyes and is waiting for the impending pain. However, to everyone's surprise, a warm and comfortable feeling came through. It's like soaking in hot springs and sauna. Did the lightning strike crooked? Jiang Chen was very puzzled in his heart. He opened his eyes curiously and examined his current situation. Jiang Chen was surprised to find that he was now in a blue and silver ocean, surrounded by terrifying lightning arcs. Although thunder arc emitted a destructive aura, it could not harm his physical body at all. At the same time, with a loud roar, the earth-shattering thunder echoed through the sky and earth. Thunder arrived before the sound of thunder, so it was only now that Jiang Chen heard this extremely terrifying roar. The commotion was so loud that I didn't expect it to be like scratching my body. The Taoist robe is not damaged, and this thunderbolt robbery is just a silver spear with a wax-like head. It's not worth it. Is it because my realm is too low that the power of thunder robbery has also decreased? Jiang Chen's face became very strange. Suddenly, he seemed to have remembered something, and his eyes lit up. In the basic cultivation techniques of cultivating immortals, there seems to be a method of using thunder to forge one's body. According to records, this is the most difficult and miraculous body cultivation secret in the world. Coincidentally, there is ready-made thunder power here, you can try practicing it. With his thoughts at this point, Jiang Chen stopped thinking too much and quickly recalled and activated this thunder forging technique. At the moment when the martial arts were in operation, his body was like a flood furnace, crazily absorbing and refining the lightning arcs around him. The lightning arc entered his body, transforming it into mysterious energy, forging and refining his physical body. For this reason, his body shimmered with a brilliant blue and white light, like a heavenly god. On the campus of the Bronze Immortal Hall, Jiang Chen is quietly operating his martial arts, absorbing the power of thunder to forge his body. Under the steps of the bronze immortal hall, Zhang looked at the figure bathing in the sea of thunder, his eyes extremely hot. Zhang, who is only 13 years old now, is the king of Qin. In his childhood, he worked as a proton in the state of Zhao, living a life of dependence and uncertainty. After being welcomed back to the state of Qin, he became the king of Qin. But due to their young age and unstable foundation, they are constantly constrained by the ministers in the court. Although he is young, he has an immensely lofty vision and aspirations, and a persistent and firm thirst for power. Even the thunder that destroyed everything must submit to him and become his foundation. If I could also have such immortal power, why should I restrain others everywhere? On the bronze school field, the power displayed by the figure in a white robe is an astonishing force that can even be subdued by thunder. This ignited a raging flame of hope in the heart of 13-year-old Zhang. Suddenly, his eyes froze, his eyebrows furrowed slightly, and he stared tightly at the sky. After the first thunderbolt was struck, the rolling black clouds on the chaotic sky did not dissipate, but temporarily fell silent. Now, the thunderclouds that cover the sky and sun are rolling again. The raging wind howls, the vision is terrifying. In Zhang's shocked and frightened eyes, a thunderbolt, thicker and more brutal than before, fell with a loud roar. If the previous one was a thunder snake, then the current one is a thunder dragon. Thunder dragon plummeted and hit the figure in the white robe. The thunderous arc overflowed, the electric light shone brightly, and the accompanying loud noise was even more terrifying, like a mountain collapsing and earth shattering. However, the figure remained motionless, bathed in the blue and silver lightning, and the whale swallowed the thunder around it. Fairy. This is a fairy. Above heaven and earth, above all things. What's the point of a mere thunderstorm? I must worship him as my teacher and learn this method of becoming an immortal. Zhang's gaze became even fiercer, and his desire to become a disciple and cultivate immortality became more determined. At this moment, Jiang Chen is located above the bronze school field. He naturally felt the impact of the second lightning strike. Looking at this thunder dragon, which is even thicker and has a more terrifying aura than before, he suddenly felt a shock and doubt in his heart. I'll go, how come there's still more? And it seems more powerful than before. In the blink of an eye, the thunder dragon once again struck Jiang Chen's body. However, just like last time, there was no pain at all, only a comfortable feeling of crispness and numbness. This thunder, resembling a real dragon, did not even break through his ordinary Taoist robe. Silver spear wax like head. Indeed, there is loud thunder and little rain. I don't know if my Taoist robe quality is too good, or if this thunderbolt is too useless. After discovering that thunderbolt did not cause any harm to oneself, Jiang Chen continued to use the forging technique, crazily absorbing and refining the thunder arc ocean around him. The power of thunder and lightning enters the body, circulating throughout the blood vessels and seeping into the bones and flesh. The meridians have also been expanded to the extreme by the power of thunder, and the spiritual energy in the body is becoming more and more abundant, far exceeding the capacity of the peak of qi cultivation. Jiang Chen's body is undergoing earth-shattering changes. As time passed, Jiang Chen became increasingly proficient in using the thunder forging technique. In just 15 minutes, he had absorbed all the lightning arcs on the bronze school field. Jiang Chen immediately opened his eyes and looked at the changes in his body with surprise. After thunder's physical training, all impurities in his body were removed, and his body was crystal clear, covered with a layer of jade-like fluorescence. The body is filled with an unprecedented sense of power, like a dormant ancient ferocious beast. The meridians are incredibly resilient and vast, flowing with 100 times more abundant and pure spiritual energy than before. In short, the harvest is very fruitful. At the moment of joy, Jiang Chen suddenly remembered something and was taken aback. Although my physical body and spiritual energy are stronger now than before, but the realm has not broken through, it's still the peak of qi refining. I'll go, is this a failed attempt to cross the tribulation? Chapter 7. Are you a fairy? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Are you a fairy? Has the realm not broken through, is this a failure to cross the tribulation? Jiang Chen was puzzled by the solution. At this point, all the lightning arcs in the bronze school field had been absorbed and refined by him. The hurricane that was originally raging has also calmed down. The dark clouds on the chaotic sky have also dissipated most of them. Only the central small thunderstorm remains, as if something is still brewing. In this space, the sky is clear, the breeze is pleasant, and peace and harmony prevail. The thunderstorm should have already ended. Why hasn't we broken through to the foundation construction realm yet? Is it because of my poor talent that I failed to cross the tribulation this time? Jiang Chen's face became very strange. However, he didn't pay too much attention either. Because Jiang Chen felt that his talent was mediocre, he spent a whole day comprehending the qi machine, and it took him 3 years to reach the peak of qi refining. In the cultivation novels I have read before, those demons can easily cultivate their qi, build a foundation overnight, and receive a golden pill for a month. In 3 years, the slower ones will also soar to the immortal realm, while the faster ones will kill through the 9 heavens and become the immortal emperor. Who is like him? 3 years have passed, and he is still at the lowest level of qi cultivation peak. So, this time there was no breakthrough to the foundation construction period, and although Jiang Chen was puzzled, there was no particularly unexpected situation. Diligence can make up for weakness. If you fail to cross the tribulation once, then come a few more times. Coincidentally, taking advantage of this period, I will further solidify my foundation, deepen my knowledge, and accumulate knowledge to make progress. Even if it's a rookie, I want to be an invincible rookie of the same level. I gained the title of Ancient Qi Refiner after comprehending 999 Qi mechanisms last time. This time, I feel that the spiritual energy in my body has far exceeded the limit of the refining period. I don't know what achievements I will achieve. Jiang Chen had a vague expectation in his heart. He knew that the journey of cultivating immortality was inherently against the sky and could not be smooth sailing. Only with a persistent attitude and an optimistic and indifferent heart can we go further. With his thoughts at this point, he let go of his unhappiness and turned to look at the boy below the bronze staircase. This young man is dressed in black brocade, although young, his face is resolute, and there is a hint of pride between his eyebrows. However, at this moment, the young man stared blankly at the bronze immortal hall, his eyes full of admiration and envy. Jiang Chen's mind moved and his body disappeared in place on the bronze school field, before appearing in front of the young man in brocade. This is also the marvel of being at home as you please. Young man, who are you? After 3 years of solitary hard work, Jiang Chen finally met a living person, and naturally felt very happy in his heart. Looking at the restless appearance of the young man in genie, Jiang Chen was afraid of scaring him and tried to speak in the most friendly tone. However, in the eyes of the young man in genie, Yingzheng, everything was vastly different. Originally, Yingzheng stared blankly at the figure above the bronze immortal hall, lost in thought for a moment. When he came to his senses, he suddenly realized that the immortal had appeared out of thin air under the bronze staircase. The immortal in front of me was dressed in a white Taoist robe, full and handsome, emitting a shimmering jade light all around, with an ethereal temperament. His gaze was profound, as if there was a hidden world inside. Opening his eyes was day, closing them was night. His posture is upright, although he is the body of the human race, he has a towering aura like a mountain. At this moment, he stood still in front of Yingzheng, as if he was the only one in the world. Immortal. This is the legendary Immortal. So amazing and powerful, so unparalleled and extraordinary, so extraordinary and extraordinary. Even with the heavenly power to suppress thunder, we are still approachable to ordinary people, without any arrogance or arrogance. Thinking of the warriors in the underworld that day, relying on extraordinary force, they would be invincible, arrogant, and domineering. Compared to the gentle and elegant immortal in front of me, judging from high to low is like a separation of clouds and mud, one sky and one earth. What Jiang Chen didn't expect was that his gentle and friendly tone actually made the young man in genie in front of him even more admired and admired. He was shocked to find that the young man in brocade solemnly bowed and said with utmost respect and piety, "Immortal, I am Zhao Zheng. I earnestly request the Immortal to accept me as his disciple and teach me immortal methods." Jiang Chen was momentarily stunned. Immortals? What kind of fairy am I? I am just a cultivator in the Qi refining period, the lowest level existence in the world of cultivation. This young man in brocade has no magical power on his body. He should be just an ordinary wealthy gentry's son, and he has never seen a true high-level cultivator in his lifetime. With this in mind, Jiang Chen quickly helped the boy kneeling on one knee up and explained with a smile. "Zhao Zheng, get up quickly. I'm not a fairy, I'm just an ordinary person on the road to cultivation." For the name Zhao Zheng, Jiang Chen thought it was ordinary and did not have much association. The young man clearly didn't believe Jiang Chen's words, he thought it was a fairy's transcendent humility. "Immortal, please accept me as your disciple." Zhao Zhengqing sincerely said, "If you don't agree, Zhao Zhengqing won't get up." The young man in brocade still knelt on one knee and said with utmost sincerity. This scene also made Jiang Chen very difficult. He clearly stated that he was an ordinary cultivator, not a fairy. But this young man just doesn't believe it. And he insisted that Jiang Chen take him as his disciple. If Jiang Chen really has the ability to cultivate immortals, he doesn't mind accepting apprentices and preaching. However, he felt that he was just a mediocre talent, a rookie in the Qi cultivation period after 3 years of cultivation. Even he is a half-hearted cultivator, how can he have the qualifications and ability to teach others? He doesn't want to mislead children, so as not to harm this innocent young man. With such thoughts in mind, Jiang Chen is prepared to firmly refuse the request of the young man in brocade. Just as I was about to speak, something unexpected happened. Jiang Chen suddenly noticed that the young man in brocade was looking at the sky, his eyes extremely shocked. He felt a sense in his heart, turned his head, and also saw the shocking scene that shocked him. At the center of the chaotic universe, the small thundercloud that had not dissipated for a long time had undergone a mutation at this moment. The originally pitch-black clouds turned into a strange blood-red color. Amidst the blood-colored thunderclouds, black lightning rolls and interweaves, emitting an earth-shattering aura of destruction. Compared to the dark clouds that previously blocked the sky and sun, the current blood-colored thunderclouds are only a small patch. However, the terrifying power it contains is even more intimidating. In Jiang Chen's puzzled and shocked eyes, a black lightning bolt pierced down from the blood-colored thundercloud and struck towards the location where Jiang Chen was. The black thunder carries the supreme heavenly power of annihilating the 6 paths, like the Milky Way falling, charging straight down. In an instant, he was in front of Jiang Chen. Chapter 8. Temporary Seat Boy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Temporary Seat Boy. The black thunder poured down like the Milky Way, carrying the fierce power of annihilating heaven and earth, rushing towards us. Jiang Chen's heart suddenly jumped, and a very serious expression appeared on his face. Oh my goodness, there's actually one last thunderbolt. Moreover, this eerie black thunder should be the thunder of annihilation. According to the records in the basic cultivation techniques, thunder robbery is divided into the thunder of trial and the thunder of destruction. The thunder of trial is a test and reward given by the heavenly Tao to cultivators, and the power of the thunder of robbery is usually controlled within an appropriate range. And the thunder of extermination is the anger of the heavenly way, the judgment and punishment given to cultivators. Descend the thunderbolt, only to execute those who should be robbed. Tiandao, old thief, you really have a grudge against me, don't you? You don't even let go of the harmless refining period of Mengxin for humans and animals. Jiang Chen cursed the heavenly way countless times in his heart. However, on the surface, he remained silent and calm, not panicked. After all, I have the experience of being split in the first 2 times. He is also uncertain whether this lightning disaster is a real man standing 3 zhang tall in the wind or a virtual man with wet shoes in the wind. For safety reasons, innocent youths around should not be affected during the crossing of the robbery. He waved his hand and used the function of being at ease to teleport the young man in brocade to a distance. Then, he fully activated the thunder forging technique. According to the records of the basic cultivation techniques, this is the most difficult body cultivation secret in the world. Jiang Chen absorbed and refined the first 2 thunderbolts, and only then was he able to enter the room, not even able to enter the hall. However, even if you are just starting out, the brilliance of the Dharma decision cannot be underestimated. Yeah. Jiang Chen, who was operating the secret technique, emitted faint lightning arcs from his body and emitted blue and silver electric light from his body. Just like the 9 heavens thunder god who drives thunder and electricity. At the same time, a black thunder finally surged and hit Jiang Chen. Boom! The howling wind changes the color of heaven and earth. The terrifying sound waves of mountain collapses and earth cracks sweep across the world. The young boy Yingzheng in the distance tightly covered his ears, overcame his fear, and looked up at the place where the black lightning struck. That was a scene that shocked Yingzheng extremely. I saw the white-robed immortal, emitting a brilliant blue and silver light all over his body, with arcs lingering around his body, like the god of thunder on earth. The black thunder emitted a terrifying aura of annihilating the 6 realms, pouring in and transforming into a black thunderbolt King Yang. The thunderbolt King Yang is vast and boundless, like an abyss that devours everything, enveloping the white-robed immortal in it. Under such a thunderous aura, are even immortals about to fall. If it weren't for the immortal intentionally sending me here, I'm afraid I would have been wiped out long ago. Damn it, such a gentle and kind-hearted immortal was attacked by thunder from the sky. Young Yingzheng's eyes turned red and his mood was extremely complicated. Suddenly, he seemed to have discovered something, with a joyful expression on his face and exclaiming in surprise. No, the immortal is fine. He's actually absorbing and refining the black thunder. In the surprised eyes of young Yingzheng, the white-robed immortal in the center of the thunderbolt King Yang emitted a terrifying suction, devouring the black lightning arc around him. The vast and boundless black thunder ocean is contracting at a visible speed to the naked eye. And that fairy shadow, resembling a thunder god, its blue and silver radiance became even more brilliant and dazzling. This is the immortal. Fearless of everything, the immortal who roams freely in heaven and earth. I must worship him as my teacher. Young Yingzheng murmured to himself, his eyes full of admiration and fanaticism, and his heart was already as respectful as a deity to Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen certainly did not notice these. He is located at the center of the Thunderbolt Ocean, fully operating the Thunderbolt forging technique, devouring and refining the surrounding black arcs at a terrifying speed. Alas, it seems that I overestimated this calamity thunder. Just like the previous 2, there is more movement and less power. Could it be that all the funds from the heavenly way were used for special effects, so it doesn't have much killing power? Jiang Chen thought to himself secretly. I thought this black thunder would be extraordinary, but it still turned out to be a silver gun wax-like head that was not suitable for use. If we say, the first 2 thunderbolts seem to be soaking in a hot spring, crispy and numb, warm and comfortable. So, the final black thunderbolt of extermination is the hot spring with a slightly higher temperature. At first, it felt a bit hot, but after getting used to it, it just happened. Although the power of the black thunder is not very strong, Jiang Chen also does not want to waste this ready-made thunder power. So he once again used the thunder forging technique to transform into a massive furnace, crazily absorbing and refining the lightning arcs around him. The black lightning arc enters the body, further expanding the meridians and dantian, and further refining and forging the flesh at a deeper level. This black thunder has an exceptionally large quantity and a particularly long refining time. Finally, 1 hour later. The thunderbolt Wang Yang beside Jiang Chen has dried up, and there are few black lightning arcs left. At this moment, his body underwent a transformation. The majestic spiritual energy that was originally filled in the dantian is actually atomizing into rain. Rain falls into a stream, the stream converges into a river, the river flows into the sea, and the sea embraces all rivers. In an instant, Jiang Chen's elixir field turned into an endless ocean of spiritual energy. On the sea of spiritual energy, there is still a large cloud of spiritual energy floating, intertwined with black and blue silver thunder. At the same time, the vast spiritual energy in this space suddenly gathered and formed a terrifying storm around Jiang Chen. The spiritual storm poured into Jiang Chen's body at an incredible speed. Jiang Chen felt like something in his mind was being pierced with a single blow, making a clear and ethereal sound. Finally broke through. Foundation construction period. Jiang Chen opened his eyes, and the immense power accumulated in his body made him unable to resist a long howl. This long roar is like the roar of a real dragon, exuding supreme authority. At this moment, he felt extremely light and his perception of the outside world was unprecedentedly clear. Every inch of flesh and bone is like a divine treasure, containing terrifying power. The meridians in the body are extremely broad and transparent, flowing with a surging and pure river of spiritual energy. What's even more astonishing is that his body emitted a brilliant light, like a fairy god. Just as Jiang Chen was delighted by the earth-shattering changes in his body. Ding! The host has achieved rare achievements. The heavenly way has built a foundation. Let's announce it to the world. A system that had been silent for a long time suddenly emerged. With the experience from last time, Jiang Chen appeared very calm and composed this time. Anyway, no one can deliberately find this place, and he is still safe. As for the consequences of announcing the world's anomalies on the outside world, it is beyond his control. He is just a novice in the cultivation world who has just been promoted to the foundation building period. All that can be done is to ensure stable development in the beginner welfare space. At the same time as the system announces the foundation of the heavenly way to the world. The outside world. Suddenly, as if from 9 days away, the earth-shattering sound of bells resounded through the sky. Bang! 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 At this moment, the sky is filled with a dazzling glow, shining like a heavenly palace on earth. Above the 9 skies, at the most dazzling center of the 7-colored glow, auspicious clouds surround a golden humanoid phantom, slowly descending. The phantom of a human figure that stands hundreds of feet tall is suspended in the air, surrounded by a mysterious aura of enlightenment, flowing with the charm of the great road of heaven and earth. Behind the humanoid phantom, there is a huge bronze immortal palace faintly visible, incredibly grand and solemn. The reflection of immortals, the shocking vision. At this moment, 18 states are boiling. Jiang Chen did not see this shocking scene in the beginner welfare space. Finally, it's time to build the foundation. And it seems like it's a rare heavenly way to build the foundation. Among the foundation building cultivators in the world of cultivating immortals, I think my heavenly way foundation building is also quite good. Jiang Chen thought happily in his heart. However powerful the foundation construction period may be, it's still just about building foundations. For those old monsters above the golden elixir period, foundation building cultivators are just ants that can be wiped out with just one palm. Ah, the task is heavy and the road ahead is long. We still need to continue working hard. After a brief moment of joy, Jiang Chen quickly adjusted his mindset. And remind yourself to keep working hard and not to slack off. By the way, shouldn't that boy be okay? Jiang Chen turned his head and looked towards the direction where the young man in the brocade was. The young man was unharmed, but due to extreme shock, his expression appeared somewhat dull. Jiang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. If an innocent young man is affected by his own thunder disaster, he will feel very sorry in his heart. With a thought in his heart, he came to the young man in brocade. Immortal, please accept me as your disciple. Zhao Zheng is willing to serve on both sides. Seeing the young man in brocade bowing and kneeling again, Jiang Chen felt a headache. The boy witnessed me crossing the thunder tribulation, so he thought I was a fairy. Even if I told him that such a loud and violent thunder hitting him doesn't hurt or itch, he definitely wouldn't believe it. Instead of putting in a lot of effort to explain, it's better to go with the flow, not deny it for now, and then explain the truth to him when there is a chance in the future. After making up his mind, Jiang Chen smiled slightly and helped up the young man in genie, who was kneeling on one knee. He said mysteriously, "Zhao Zheng, I can teach you the method of cultivating immortals. But it's not that simple to become my disciple. You can practice with me for a while first, and if you perform well, I will consider accepting you as an apprentice." Jiang Chen's idea is very simple. Since the young man insisted on learning the method of cultivating immortals, that was his intention. It's boring for Jiang Chen to practice alone here, so it's good to teach this young man in his free time. Anyway, it teaches the content of the basic cultivation techniques, so there shouldn't be any problems. As for whether and how much one can learn, it depends on the young man's talent and nature. Of course, Jiang Chen also doesn't want this young man to apprentice. Apprenticeship is a significant cause and effect in the world of cultivating immortals. Before being strong enough, Jiang Chen doesn't want to easily get infected. "Zhao Zheng, you can temporarily be the boy under my seat. I will teach you some basic cultivation methods. The matter of apprenticeship will be discussed later." In response to Jiang Chen's words, it was Zhao Zheng's grateful and excited gaze. And an incredibly solemn and dignified gift. Chapter 8. Temporary Seat Boy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Temporary Seat Boy. The black thunder poured down like the Milky Way, carrying the fierce power of annihilating heaven and earth, rushing towards us. Jiang Chen's heart suddenly jumped, and a very serious expression appeared on his face. Oh my goodness, there's actually one last thunderbolt. Moreover, this eerie black thunder should be the thunder of annihilation. According to the records in the basic cultivation techniques, thunder robbery is divided into the thunder of trial and the thunder of destruction. The thunder of trial is a test and reward given by the heavenly Tao to cultivators, and the power of the thunder of robbery is usually controlled within an appropriate range. And the thunder of extermination is the anger of the heavenly way, the judgment and punishment given to cultivators. Descend the thunderbolt, only to execute those who should be robbed. Tiandao, old thief, you really have a grudge against me, don't you? You don't even let go of the harmless refining period of Mengxin for humans and animals. Jiang Chen cursed the heavenly way countless times in his heart. However, on the surface, he remained silent and calm, not panicked. After all, I have the experience of being split in the first 2 times. He is also uncertain whether this lightning disaster is a real man standing 3 zhang tall in the wind or a virtual man with wet shoes in the wind. For safety reasons, innocent youths around should not be affected during the crossing of the robbery. He waved his hand and used the function of being at ease to teleport the young man in brocade to a distance. Then, he fully activated the thunder forging technique. According to the records of the basic cultivation techniques, this is the most difficult body cultivation secret in the world. Jiang Chen absorbed and refined the first 2 thunderbolts, and only then was he able to enter the room, not even able to enter the hall. However, even if you are just starting out, the brilliance of the Dharma decision cannot be underestimated. Yeah. Jiang Chen, who was operating the secret technique, emitted faint lightning arcs from his body and emitted blue and silver electric light from his body. Just like the 9 heavens thunder god who drives thunder and electricity. At the same time, a black thunder finally surged and hit Jiang Chen. Boom! The howling wind changes the color of heaven and earth. The terrifying sound waves of mountain collapses and earth cracks sweep across the world. The young boy Yingzheng in the distance tightly covered his ears, overcame his fear, and looked up at the place where the black lightning struck. That was a scene that shocked Yingzheng extremely. I saw the white-robed immortal, emitting a brilliant blue and silver light all over his body, with arcs lingering around his body, like the god of thunder on earth. The black thunder emitted a terrifying aura of annihilating the 6 realms, pouring in and transforming into a black thunderbolt King Yang. The thunderbolt King Yang is vast and boundless, like an abyss that devours everything, enveloping the white-robed immortal in it. Under such a thunderous aura, are even immortals about to fall. If it weren't for the immortal intentionally sending me here, I'm afraid I would have been wiped out long ago. Damn it, such a gentle and kind-hearted immortal was attacked by thunder from the sky. Young Yingzheng's eyes turned red and his mood was extremely complicated. Suddenly, he seemed to have discovered something, with a joyful expression on his face and exclaiming in surprise. No, the immortal is fine. He's actually absorbing and refining the black thunder. In the surprised eyes of young Yingzheng, the white-robed immortal in the center of the thunderbolt King Yang emitted a terrifying suction, devouring the black lightning arc around him. The vast and boundless black thunder ocean is contracting at a visible speed to the naked eye. And that fairy shadow, resembling a thunder god, its blue and silver radiance became even more brilliant and dazzling. This is the immortal. Fearless of everything, the immortal who roams freely in heaven and earth. I must worship him as my teacher. Young Yingzheng murmured to himself, his eyes full of admiration and fanaticism, and his heart was already as respectful as a deity to Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen certainly did not notice these. He is located at the center of the Thunderbolt Ocean, fully operating the Thunderbolt forging technique, devouring and refining the surrounding black arcs at a terrifying speed. Alas, it seems that I overestimated this calamity thunder. Just like the previous 2, there is more movement and less power. Could it be that all the funds from the heavenly way were used for special effects, so it doesn't have much killing power? Jiang Chen thought to himself secretly. I thought this black thunder would be extraordinary, but it still turned out to be a silver gun wax-like head that was not suitable for use. If we say, the first 2 thunderbolts seem to be soaking in a hot spring, crispy and numb, warm and comfortable. So, the final black thunderbolt of extermination is the hot spring with a slightly higher temperature. At first, it felt a bit hot, but after getting used to it, it just happened. Although the power of the black thunder is not very strong, Jiang Chen also does not want to waste this ready-made thunder power. So he once again used the thunder forging technique to transform into a massive furnace, crazily absorbing and refining the lightning arcs around him. The black lightning arc enters the body, further expanding the meridians and dantian, and further refining and forging the flesh at a deeper level. This black thunder has an exceptionally large quantity and a particularly long refining time. Finally, 1 hour later, the thunderbolt Wang Yang beside Jiang Chen has dried up, and there are few black lightning arcs left. At this moment, his body underwent a transformation. The majestic spiritual energy that was originally filled in the dantian is actually atomizing into rain. Rain falls into a stream, the stream converges into a river, the river flows into the sea, and the sea embraces all rivers. In an instant, Jiang Chen's elixir field turned into an endless ocean of spiritual energy. On the sea of spiritual energy, there is still a large cloud of spiritual energy floating, intertwined with black and blue silver thunder. At the same time, the vast spiritual energy in this space suddenly gathered and formed a terrifying storm around Jiang Chen. The spiritual storm poured into Jiang Chen's body at an incredible speed. Jiang Chen felt like something in his mind was being pierced with a single blow, making a clear and ethereal sound. Finally broke through. Foundation construction period. Jiang Chen opened his eyes, and the immense power accumulated in his body made him unable to resist a long howl. This long roar is like the roar of a real dragon, exuding supreme authority. At this moment, he felt extremely light and his perception of the outside world was unprecedentedly clear. Every inch of flesh and bone is like a divine treasure, containing terrifying power. The meridians in the body are extremely broad and transparent, flowing with a surging and pure river of spiritual energy. What's even more astonishing is that his body emitted a brilliant light, like a fairy god. Just as Jiang Chen was delighted by the earth-shattering changes in his body. Ding! The host has achieved rare achievements. The heavenly way has built a foundation. Let's announce it to the world. A system that had been silent for a long time suddenly emerged. With the experience from last time, Jiang Chen appeared very calm and composed this time. Anyway, no one can deliberately find this place, and he is still safe. As for the consequences of announcing the world's anomalies on the outside world, it is beyond his control. He is just a novice in the cultivation world who has just been promoted to the foundation building period. All that can be done is to ensure stable development in the beginner welfare space. At the same time as the system announces the foundation of the heavenly way to the world. The outside world. Suddenly, as if from 9 days away, the earth-shattering sound of bells resounded through the sky. Bang! 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 At this moment, the sky is filled with a dazzling glow, shining like a heavenly palace on earth. Above the 9 skies, at the most dazzling center of the 7-colored glow, auspicious clouds surround a golden humanoid phantom, slowly descending. The phantom of a human figure that stands hundreds of feet tall is suspended in the air, surrounded by a mysterious aura of enlightenment, flowing with the charm of the great road of heaven and earth. Behind the humanoid phantom, there is a huge bronze immortal palace faintly visible, incredibly grand and solemn. The reflection of immortals, the shocking vision. At this moment, 18 states are boiling. Jiang Chen did not see this shocking scene in the beginner welfare space. Finally, it's time to build the foundation. And it seems like it's a rare heavenly way to build the foundation. Among the foundation building cultivators in the world of cultivating immortals, I think my heavenly way foundation building is also quite good. Jiang Chen thought happily in his heart. However powerful the foundation construction period may be, it's still just about building foundations. For those old monsters above the golden elixir period, foundation building cultivators are just ants that can be wiped out with just one palm. Ah, the task is heavy and the road ahead is long. We still need to continue working hard. After a brief moment of joy, Jiang Chen quickly adjusted his mindset. And remind yourself to keep working hard and not to slack off. By the way, shouldn't that boy be okay? Jiang Chen turned his head and looked towards the direction where the young man in the brocade was. The young man was unharmed, but due to extreme shock, his expression appeared somewhat dull. Jiang Qinchang breathed a sigh of relief. If an innocent young man is affected by his own thunder disaster, he will feel very sorry in his heart. With a thought in his heart, he came to the young man in brocade. Immortal, please accept me as your disciple. Zhao Zheng is willing to serve on both sides. Seeing the young man in brocade bowing and kneeling again, Jiang Chen felt a headache. The boy witnessed me crossing the thunder tribulation, so he thought I was a fairy. Even if I told him that such a loud and violent thunder hitting him doesn't hurt or itch, he definitely wouldn't believe it. Instead of putting in a lot of effort to explain, it's better to go with the flow, not deny it for now, and then explain the truth to him when there is a chance in the future. After making up his mind, Jiang Chen smiled slightly and helped up the young man in genie, who was kneeling on one knee. He said mysteriously, "Zhao Zheng, I can teach you the method of cultivating immortals. But it's not that simple to become my disciple. You can practice with me for a while first, and if you perform well, I will consider accepting you as an apprentice." Jiang Chen's idea is very simple. Since the young man insisted on learning the method of cultivating immortals, that was his intention. It's boring for Jiang Chen to practice alone here, so it's good to teach this young man in his free time. Anyway, it teaches the content of the basic cultivation techniques, so there shouldn't be any problems. As for whether and how much one can learn, it depends on the young man's talent and nature. Of course, Jiang Chen also doesn't want this young man to apprentice. Apprenticeship is a significant cause and effect in the world of cultivating immortals. Before being strong enough, Jiang Chen doesn't want to easily get infected. Zhao Zheng, you can temporarily be the boy under my seat. I will teach you some basic cultivation methods. The matter of apprenticeship will be discussed later. In response to Jiang Chen's words, it was Zhao Zheng's grateful and excited gaze. And an incredibly solemn and dignified gift. Chapter 9. The Qin King of Immortal Cultivation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The Qin King of Immortal Cultivation. Inside the bronze immortal hall. Jiang Chen and the young man in brocade sat opposite each other, with different expressions. Jiang Chen is very casual and gentle. The young man in brocade is very reserved and mentally tense, afraid of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, which will make real people unhappy. Zhao, take it easy in front of me in the future, there's no need to be so serious and cautious. I understand, real person. The young man in brocade spoke clearly, but his expression remained unchanged. Jiang Chen could only helplessly smile bitterly about this. Anyway, at least a good child who understands etiquette, let him slowly adapt to change. Suddenly, Jiang Chen's heart moved and he thought of something. He spoke up and asked. Zhao, have you seen any other immortals outside? What are they like? Jiang Chen worked hard in the beginner welfare space for 3 years, knowing nothing about the outside world. He hopes to learn about how powerful the cultivators outside are through the genie youth and be mentally prepared in advance. Real person, you are the only fairy I have ever seen. Although there are warriors outside, there is definitely no fairy like you. The young man in brocade answered with great certainty. Something's wrong. Isn't it the world of advanced immortals outside? Why hasn't even a senior cultivator seen this young man? Jiang Chen's heart was extremely puzzled. But on second thought, he felt relieved again. This young man lacks any spiritual energy and is obviously an ordinary person. Ordinary people have their own world, and cultivators have their own world. It is normal for teenagers to be ordinary people and not pay attention to matters in the cultivation world. Moreover, the young man is only around 13 years old. It is very likely that I have been studying at home before and have not had any exposure to the outside world, so my horizons are too narrow and my knowledge is not high. At this point, Jiang Chen stopped thinking too much and changed the topic, beginning to teach the most basic cultivation methods. Zhao, next I will tell you the method of sensing the air machine. Sensing the qi machine is the first and most important step in cultivating immortality. You should take it seriously. Bronze Immortal Hall, within the cultivation chamber. Spiritual energy is shrouded in mist, and immortal energy is curling up. At this point, it has been 10 days since Jiang Chen taught him the method of induction gas machine. Looking at the young man in brocade with a furrowed brow and a face that refused to accept defeat, Jiang Chen could only smile helplessly. I can't believe this child's talent is even worse than mine. 10 days have passed and I haven't even sensed the gas engine. I'm afraid in the outside world, they are the group with the worst qualifications. No wonder they don't know anything about the cultivation world. Jiang Chen was even more certain that this young man in brocade was an ordinary person far away from the cultivation world. At the same time, he also felt very regretful in his heart. He is very polite and always carries gratitude and respect in his heart. He is a rare and good child. Unfortunately, my talent is too poor. Otherwise, it's not impossible to accept him as an apprentice. Jiang Chen shook his head, left the secret room, and went outside. On the bronze school field, Jiang Chen pulled out the wooden sword from his waist, activated his spiritual power, and his mind moved. Buzz, buzz. I saw this wooden sword rise up against the wind and fly out quickly. As the flying sword shuttles through, there are actually blue, silver, and black lightning arcs lingering around the sword body. The wooden sword flew for a long time before Jiang Chen withdrew it and reluctantly wore it to his waist. This wooden sword is good, I finally have my own magic weapon. Jiang Chen felt quite emotional in his heart. Last time during the Thunderbolt robbery, he faintly felt that the wooden sword on his body was absorbing the power of the Thunderbolt robbery. At that time, I had to deal with the matter of the young man in brocade, so I didn't carefully examine it. Later, when I had time, I took out the wooden sword for observation and found that it had undergone transformation. The wooden sword has transformed into a lightning-struck wooden sword, and it can also unleash the power of thunder, which is in line with one's own intentions and extremely compatible. Therefore, recently, Jiang Chen has been practicing flying swordsmanship with a wooden sword. This move may not be the strongest, but it is definitely the most stylish and handsome. Therefore, during his leisure time of daily cultivation, he would come to the bronze school field and enthusiastically manipulate the wooden sword to fly. Cultivating immortality has no time. A month's time is fleeting. Genie youth, it has been a month since I came to the bronze immortal hall to practice. However, until now, he still hasn't sensed the chi machine and has never been able to take the first step in cultivating immortality. Even so, he did not give up, but instead worked harder and persevered day and night. Jiang Chen saw all of this in his eyes and greatly appreciated the resilience of the young man. Therefore, even if the young man in genie could not comprehend the chi machine for a long time, Jiang Chen did not show any annoyance or contempt. On the contrary, it is more patient in teaching and pouring out everything to teach. Within a month, Jiang Chen taught the young man all the knowledge of cultivating immortals, including the cultivation methods of the later realms, except for the method of perceiving the chi mechanism. Zhao, I have taught you everything that needs to be taught. Whether or not you can embark on the path of cultivating immortality depends on your nature. Jiang Chen said earnestly to the young man in genie. The young man in brocade had tears in his eyes, and he solemnly bowed. And with utmost sincerity and gratitude, he responded. The great kindness of a true person is remembered by Zhao Jingming and will never be forgotten. This is the sincere words of young Yingzheng. For a month now, he has been diligently practicing in the bronze immortal temple. The immortal is very easy-going and friendly. Although Yingzheng is a fairy's child under the throne, he has never been summoned. Moreover, he tirelessly teaches and imparts the method of cultivating immortals. He did not give up or expel him because of his poor qualifications. From being a proton until now, no one has treated him so well. Even if he returns to China and becomes the king of Qin, the people around him have impure intentions, engaging in intrigues and undercurrents. A towering and magical immortal, although it was his first encounter, could be so friendly and gentle. Let Yingzheng have a different feeling here, warmth, harmony, and happiness. Therefore, young Yingzheng's gratitude and respect for the immortal come from the bottom of his heart. Unfortunately, my talent is too poor and I have never been able to comprehend the chi machine. The real person patiently and earnestly taught me, but I am not at all worthy of it. I really feel guilty towards his elderly family. Young Yingzheng thought with great guilt and discomfort in his heart. Suddenly, he felt a wave of dizziness, his body softened, and he fainted. At the same time, the long-dormant system emerged again. Ding! Remind the host that the spiritual energy in the beginner welfare space is too abundant and not suitable for ordinary people to live for a long time. Please send the intruder back to their original world as soon as possible, otherwise the intruder's life will be in danger.